Hi everybody, today we're going to be talking about a personal favorite of mine, the Antigua Winds ProOne Alto Saxophone. Please stick around, find out more about it. Hello everybody, my name is Andrew King and we are here at Alamo Music here in San Antonio, Texas. Please remember to visit us at alamomusic.com where we are going to have the exact instrument I'm going to be talking about today, and that is the Antigua Winds ProOne Alto Saxophone. This is, in my opinion, one of the coolest little storied instruments. I think that this is Antigua Winds' maybe magnum opus, but this horn, when it comes down to it, when you think of Antigua Winds, you definitely think about their Powerbell series, right? It's basically those super fancy finished instruments. I've talked about them before in the classical versus jazz video, but basically it's an instrument that provides itself well to a lot of flash. It plays well and everything like that, but it's not going to be up there with, like, say, like the high-end Yanagasawas, the high-end Yamahas, the Selmers and everything like that. But what Antigua Winds has done is created this instrument in conjunction with Peter Ponzel, who is most notably known. He's over 30 years of experience in the world. He's a world-renowned saxophone player. He's also a great designer. He's been working with instruments. He's been doing stuff with mouthpieces for a very long time. Definitely check out his website if you can. It's one of the coolest musicians out there as far as saxophone goes. But one of his things that he did that was clearly inspiring on this particular horn is his work with the company Cowworth. That's an old German saxophone company. I highly recommend checking that out too. But when it comes down to it, that standard, that name, the branding, the push, the marketing for this instrument, everything about it just screams quality. There's a lot of care put into this horn that is very particular to the needs of a very general set of players, especially in the classical world. This instrument can be used, I do think, as a good jazz horn as well in certain cases, but in a direct comparison and everything, what you get out of this in short, for what I'm about to go over for the next, 10 minutes or something, is this horn really lends itself to being a powerful, dark, complex tonal instrument with clear thought put into the weight of the instrument, put into how the instrument plays, how it feels when you play it, and I'm extremely excited to show this to you. So the first thing to note about this is that because it's from Antigua Winds, that does not mean that the price point or anything like that is going to be around those lines that some people are used to when it comes to Antigua Winds. The primary motivation to get an Antigua instrument in my eyes for the last while has always been the low cost point to the higher quality comparative to hired brand names where you're paying for that brand name as well when you go into a brand new one. This instrument is taking that more, I don't guess not higher road approach, but this instrument, what it's doing is taking an approach where it's paying very high homages to those older, some Cowworth design philosophies, as far as, and also, in my opinion, some Yanagasawa design philosophies, especially on the lower end of the instrument. And what this brings is just an extremely well-playing horn that I think anyone could get into. Let's go ahead and talk about it, right? Okay, so the instrument, right? It's made with a very clear, darker lacquer that shows up in the tone, in my opinion. This allows for a very complex, dark, not somber, but a powerful tone that allows you to, and especially if you're fully supporting the instrument, it allows you to very much sing and blend and basically portray the character that you want to, given your aptitude towards it. The other thing lending to that very great sound is, one of my favorite parts of it is the neck. This neck is the P1 neck, named after Ponzel and everything like that. Designed very much to be a very open, very less resistance than what I'm used to in a lot of horns like this. But what that brings to it is a singing ability that allows it to be very flexible in the approach that you want to take. So combining that with the horn, which is very minute in the changes that it makes, but that texture definitely shows up in its playing. The other things that are to note about this instrument, in my opinion, one of my favorite things is definitely going to be in the G-sharp table. When you're switching from B to C-sharp, the rollers and everything like that are going all the way across rather than just one like we're used to in some instruments. This allows the instrument a lot more flexibility, especially when you're playing down low or you're doing some more overtonal work. This instrument is just very comfortable to play, especially ergonomically. This is one of the first saxophones I'm actually extremely happy about, where the palm F key is as well. That's one of my favorite parts about it. The other thing about it that I'm going to very much note on, and you'll see this in the footage and everything like that, but when you go into the G sharp, the arms on it and everything like that have a very new system on it. It will not stick. I don't know about y'all, but when I play and everything like that, sometimes I'm playing at clubs, or if you're practicing, you kind of, yeah, got your Diet Coke on the side or something like that, or your sugary drink, which you shouldn't be using, right? But in that case, if you're using that kind of thing and stuff like that over the long period of time that you're playing, more condensation and everything, the tone hole itself is going to be sticking more. So this is something that I am extremely excited about. It makes the maintenance of the instrument so much more easier and very kind to your repair tech. The other thing to note about this horn, in my opinion, is going to be definitely the trident-like arms on the keys down on the bottom. From a repair perspective, this is honestly a really cool idea. Basically, it's kind of like the whole idea with the precision screws, but basically what you're able to do is when you're fixing it up or you're trying to fix leaks or anything like that, you can kind of choose which side to use on the left or right side on each of these bottom keys, and that'll fix that leak because it pushes it down on that either side. So it's not like you have to bend the instrument like older horns or anything like that where everything's kind of more soldered on. This gives a lot more practical value to that instrument, especially if you're getting into it. Say if you want like going into college and you wanted to get that pro instrument. Not only is the price point really good for this, in my opinion, compared to a lot of those other instruments, this instrument also lends itself to being really easy to fix and make certain modifications to it, such as like key heights, especially with that trident arm area. When you start playing and start getting into those models and everything like that, this instrument just lends itself really well. Another thing is the F-sharp bridge. That's also a part of this. I very much enjoy that. That gives a lot more stability because of it being soldered on with the screw on the top and everything like that. When you're playing the F, that means that a lot of the typical leaks that would happen aren't really going to happen with this. So it's a very much more sturdy instrument. With all these extra parts, there is a lot more weight to the bottom of the horn as well. So I really enjoy the fact, and this is one of my favorite things about saxophones like this, is that low end being really heavy. A really heavy horn means a really focused sound. The instrument's not vibrating as much or anything, not much reverberation with the horn. That lends itself very much to that classical dark tone that you want, that's very full and powerful, that really basically surrounds the music that you want to play and vocalize to what you want to do. As far as the rest of the instrument goes, it's very typical along those lines. The ergonomics, of course, are great. I very much, the octave key mechanism is really good as well. It's just very standard, but in my opinion, this is definitely one of my favorite approaches to the saxophone that I've seen. Playing on it, it's very even across the board. The intonation's great. Again, very much reminds me of that Yanagisawa kind of method where it's very, the details to it and everything just really lends itself to powerful playing, and you don't need to make a lot of changes on your end to make this work. And because of these other characteristics and stuff like that, it very much sets it apart from, the standard saxophone that you want to go into, like maybe the 875EX or the, the reference models and stuff like that. This instrument very much lends itself to be a powerful contender in this more $3,000 to $4,000 saxophone basically category that has been very popular in these last 10 or 15 years. I think that this one's a great horn, especially if you're getting into, it's perfect like if you're going to high school, but it's great if you're going into college and you're looking for that first horn that's going to be reliable. It is also a great horn for career use, in my opinion. The only thing, like the only thing that I would see that could be any kind of detraction is maybe the fact that it's not like one of these older brands and stuff like that. That is something to think about. A lot of studios and stuff tend to lean towards more other brands and everything. But I highly recommend just trying this horn out, seeing what I'm talking about. The whole idea of moniker and brand names and everything like that is not something I super believe in. I believe in the fact that you need to try out the horn more than anything to really see what approach is the right one for you and what's going to lend itself to you. So I'm going to go ahead and play this horn for you and everything like that. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in a little bit. Well, thank you so much for listening. Please tell me what you thought in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe. I should also mention real quick before we go on, I did work with Antigua at one point. They helped me out during a time when I didn't have a horn. I had to get one basically completely overhauled, and I wasn't going to be with my horn for a very large period of time one summer. So they allowed me to use one while I was basically gigging out in town. That fact, along with that, they're based in San Antonio, so this company is very close to home for me. But aside from that, I don't think any of those things really lend itself to my feelings on this, because this horn, the way that it adds to the instrument and the things you're able to do now with the instrument, not just from a playing standpoint, but also from a technical standpoint, with the ability to more easily and more accessibility as far as changing key heights, being able to fix leaks. A lot of the instrument is more foolproof as far as the normal wear and tear issues that are very popular with the saxophone in general. You know, the old dollar trick on your G sharp key, that's a thing that honestly with this instrument you're not going to need to worry about, because the spring action is just so much better because of the added parts. The trident arms, in my opinion, are super cool. You do so much with them. I think they look great as well, and it adds that extra weight to the instrument that really allows you to transfer that power into it and give you that nice deep, dark core that I really enjoy playing with, and that's one of my favorite things about this horn is just the playing of it is just so fun. I really implore you to come and try it out. Again, we have these available at alamomusic.com for purchase. I also, please, again, just one more time, please subscribe, like, leave a comment, hit the bell icon if you want to see any other videos that we're putting out. I also made a video on the Antigua Powerbell and the 5200 series, which is the one below this one, kind of going more over the whole idea of jazz versus classical, or jazz and classical, in my opinion, when it got there. But when it comes down to it, this instrument in general is a joy to play, and I hope I showed that. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you at the next one.